I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Madison Solid Rock 94.1 JJO and JJO Discover New Music. Our guest this week is Myles Kennedy, talking to us about the new release, The Art of Letting Go.
Hey, what you will of me, still I dare to be more than what you are.
There he is. Myles, how are you, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Oh, I think this is our third meeting.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's only ever been on Zoom. One of these times, you got to stop dodging my friend requests. We're going to get together, I swear, Myles.
I'm sorry about that.
I know you're busy, but man.
I feel like such a jerk.
Oh, man. Well, I am super excited to talk with you here on Discover New Music. The brand new album, The Art of Letting Go, October of 2024 is when we got it. So it's been out there marinating. People have been loving it, doing great all over the place, and for good reason. And before we get into it, I want to lay something out, and then I have a two-parter question. So timeline-wise, you had Year of the Tiger, solo record in 2018. Living the Dream with Slash and the Conspirators 2018. Walk the Sky, Alter Bridge 2019. Ides of March, solo 2021. Pawns and Kings, Alter Bridge 2022. Record number 4 with Slash and the Conspirators 2022. Art of Letting Go, solo 2024. Two-part question. How in the hell do you keep everything straight? Also, when do you sleep, Myles? My God.
I have no life outside of music. Obviously, I'm a complete. No, it's crazy when you put it that way. And I've never heard anybody string it all together, and it kind of wow, yeah. I just I like being a part of bands and creating and writing, and what else is there to do? Nothing.
Right. Well, you've also been quoted as saying is that you're fortunate in that you made a hobby into a career, and I know even from your early roots, I think music has just been, if you weren't doing it, you'd probably go crazy, a la a nonstop barrage of music from all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. No, I really feel lucky.
Yeah.
Insanely lucky that this has all worked out the way it has. Yeah.
Well, we are insanely lucky because once again we get more fresh music from Myles Kennedy and this new record, The Art of Letting Go. And as we just talked about, you have Alter Bridge, you have Slash and the Conspirators. You probably have a contact list of people who would kill to work with you. So I guess, why is it important to you to have a solo record and this solo record?
I think it's, doing solo records is kind of the opportunity to really test yourself, because you don't have people to bounce ideas off of at the genesis of the songwriting process.
No.
So and I like that because it helps me as an editor. It helps me narrow down what ideas are worth working on, and so then when I go back to Alter Bridge or working with Slash, I feel like I'm more of a fine-tuned machine at that point, because it's like there's no atrophy sets in creatively. I'm always creating, and I feel like it's helped all the entities in a lot of ways. Just I stay on my toes.
Yeah.
And
when it's good, it's, with everything, it's a tool, it's a muscle. You gotta work that muscle. And I think it's for an artist like you who has been able to dabble in so many different areas. I wonder, do you have to rewire your brain when you go to do solo? I know you're working on the skills, but is there a different mindset when it's like, all right, it's me, myself, and I? How does that play out?
Yeah. When the three of us get together to work, me, myself, and I. It's much different. It's a much different process in that. First, stylistically, I kind of do whatever. But it's also, with Alter Bridge, it's heavier. It's a lot of detuned stuff and almost metal at times. And generally with the solo stuff, it tends to lean more towards blues based. That's kind of a lot of the guys that influenced me when I was coming up the ranks. I loved metal, but like as far as a player goes, I was really into, guys who were inspired by the blues. So I like to touch on that and touch on, that's kind of where my, it's fun to get back in those waters.
Have the guys ever come to you and been like, what? Hey, you just wrote that bitchin' song. Did you save it for yourself? What the hell, Myles?
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. In fact, I remember Mark heard the demo for the title track of Ides of March, and I talked to him on the phone. He said, "Oh man, I wish you saved that for us." And I was like, "I just didn't think it would fit." So yeah, but it's the same thing's happened with him, where he'll have a song on his solo record, like the lead single on his new solo record. I was like, "Oh man, you should have saved that riff for Alternate Pitch. It's killer."
I know. And then of course Mark comes out with this great voice. You're like, "Man, I can do that singing for you, Mark. Throw me on there. I can do it." Right?
There you go. There you go.
You had Michael Elvis Pasquette, Elvis on this one, produced this record, and you've probably lost count at the amount of times you've worked with him on all aspects. But in that personal relationship, long lasting, why is that so important to the sound you're going for on this solo record?
Because I trust him. And that's a big part of it. Now, not that it's other people I've worked with, not that I didn't trust them, but it's so familiar now with Elvis. I just know exactly what I'm going to get. And so when I go into something, I'm like, I want to make a rock record, or I want to make this kind of record. And I know that's in his wheelhouse. I know he'll be able to do that really well. Now, if I was to suddenly wake up one day and go, man, I really want to make like a funk record, I don't know. I've never really talked to him about that genre, but I'd be interested. Hey, Nile Rodgers, would you be interested in doing this record with me?
Seeing that on there, it's cool to see that relationship, and obviously how copacetic it is on all ends. And obviously you guys have made beautiful music together for a long time, and we see that in the latest solo project, The Art of Letting Go. Anything stand out in this record and making this record? And what I mean by that is you pretty much seen it all, you played it all, another day in the studio, but anything that maybe made you go, that was different?
So that's a great question. Let's see. No, it felt pretty, it felt like everything. We've just been doing it for so long. We made a first record together, when Elvis had engineered the second Mayfield record in 2001. So like we're coming up on like a quarter century of doing stuff. But occasionally what'll happen is you'll just be surprised things will turn out a certain way. Like you won't know about it. Like you'll go in a song that you think that's pretty cool. But then you'll finish it, or you'll get the goosebumps as you're working on it, and you're like, oh, okay, now feel like we're capturing lightning in a bottle. And those are always that's the reason. For me, that's my favorite part of the whole thing, is when you're sitting there with the team, everybody's in their spot, and you're listening back, and everybody's moving their head, and you're like, yeah, this is glad we died. That's the best high ever. It's the best. I highly recommend it.
that culmination of everything, and right there, and all the hard work, I can only imagine. Favorite track on the record, and if that's a bad way to word it, how about a track that speaks to you really on this record?
My favorite track is a song called Behind the Veil, and it's like a longer song, and it's kind of about the riff. It's it's just something about the pocket of that song, and in the solo I take this long extended guitar. So, and then when live I extend it even long. It's like I'll play like a 5-minute guitar. It's very self-indulgent, but I'll admit to that right now. But it's fun. It's all about fun. That's the thing about the solo thing. It's just about having fun and really Zia, the drummer, we played together as kids. I've known Zia now for 40 years, and we played high school bands together, and then we were in the Mayfield Four together, and Tim Turner, bass player, he manages the whole thing, but he's also a killer musician. So it's just a lot of fun all the way around.
And it's very interesting because here you are, and I actually just talked to Jerry Cantrell. I'm sure you know very well. And he is coming up on being a rock star at almost 60, and he had a lot of that same kind of fun in his voice. And it's making me giddy listening to you talk about it. It sounds like, not that you haven't had fun before, but at 55 and making this solo record and really being in this comfortable, fun spot, even after all these years.
Yeah, it really is kind of fascinating. It's just, a fan the other day I ran into, and she's like, you just look like you're having so much fun right now. And I'm like, oh, you're on to me. You caught me. I'm having too much fun. I shouldn't be having this much fun at this stage in life, but I'm great. Look, it goes back to just being grateful, and kind of what I alluded to earlier is like realizing how lucky I am. Not
Yeah.
only do I get to play in one band that gets to tour, make records, but somehow I've managed to do like three of these be part of three projects. So yeah, if you'd have told me all this, 30 years ago, this is going to play out this way, I'd be like, you're high, man. There's no way.
Yeah, you should be that crotchety old rock star with your own tour bus. You don't talk to
Right.
anyone. I did. We're glad it's not that way, though, Miles. We're
No,
glad
no,
it's
no.
not that way. Well, hey, we're super excited to have brand new stuff from you. And again, The Art of Letting Go, released late part of 2024. And I know we got plenty more coming for it. And I'm sure, again, if you missed the first part in that laundry list of things that Miles has put out, I have a feeling we're still going to see plenty more. No slowing down at this point. I got a couple more questions. We're going to do rapid fire, but
Sure.
as the seasoned vocalist and also guitarist that you are on a solo record, where do you find yourself pushing yourself more, on the playing side or the singing side?
The solo record, definitely playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's where I'm really, really focused. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that makes sense because when you look at your other projects, you got these world renowned guitarists,
Right.
and this is your chance to really go my solo and really push yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
My solo. This one's mine.
no
Thank you
Mark,
very
no
much.
Sledge.
Step aside.
7 minutes later, I love it. It's
Right.
The last thing I want to bring up now that we got the new record out there and just very excited for that and what's to come. And I don't want to get, put the cart before the horse because we're enjoying that one. I love bringing this up because as a fellow fan of just music and music theory and just the history of all of this different music, and as I know you are, you have a strong jazz background. You were even in a band, and we talked about this last time, but I love telling people about this. You were in a band called the Cosmic Dust Fusion Band, which is the most jazz band sounding name out there.
Right.
You even put out a well-received record in 91 called Journey. Is there ever in the future a chance at maybe a Myles jazz work?
I would love that. I
Yeah.
just don't know. I don't know how the people, like the fan base, I don't know how they're going to react to that. Look, if left to my own devices, who knows? Maybe I would totally be down with that. Yeah, I love jazz. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just talking with some friends. There's a band that came out on tour with us a few years ago with Alter Bridge called MJT. They're amazing. They're like seasoned jazz players too. These cats are amazing, and we always we nerd out on jazz and stuff. But I would like that if if someone's interested.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey,
Yeah.
you heard it here. I'll put the ad out. I'll make sure everyone knows, and you hit Myles up. We'll do something awesome in the jazz world. If Metallica could do that one with Lou Reed, I feel
Lou Reed.
yeah. I mean, you could do it.
That's a
Easily.
good point. That's a great point.
There we go.
I like how you think.
And I'll play it. I'll be the first one to play it. I promise you.
Okay,
I
cool. All
promise you.
right, great.
All right, let's do, now that we got the important stuff out of the way, let's do rapid fire. And since you and I have been fortunate enough to chat multiple times, I had to think of some new ones for this. And I have some Myles specific ones. So let's start off simple. For singing, would you rather do a low D flat or a high G6?
Oh, jeez. I'm gonna say, well, low D flat.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The G6 is like in the stratosphere.
that's up there. I know you got one of the high, I think it's just over 4 octaves. So I figured I want to see if you do that big, Steel Dragon
Right.
note up there, or maybe you go low.
But if you'd asked me 25 years ago, I'd probably said the G6. But I don't want to paint myself into a corner at this stage in life. I like the lower stuff.
Some guy at a concert just holding a sign up that says, sing the G6.
Yeah.
And I'm not like,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just a bunch of signs say G6, and they crowds chant G6, G6, G6.
lot
How
of
weird
pollen
would
in
that
the
be?
air. You're outside,
Exactly.
man. It ain't going to happen. You
It's
can do
not
it.
going to happen.
I'll do the low D. All right. What about this? Sneakers or sandals?
Ooh, well, given that I have these goofy looking monkey toes, I'm going to say sneakers because you don't want to see my feet. My wife is always laughing. She's like, your toes, they're longer than your fingers. You could play guitar with your toes. Maybe that's what I'll do on the next record.
And there you go. A complete toe song. It'll be amazing.
Toe song, right?
And I don't want to give you a complex. I'm sure they're beautiful.
Oh, no, they're weird. They're weird.
Billy Ocean or Billy Idol?
Ooh, that's tough because I do like Billy Ocean, but Billy Idol. Billy Idol. If it's with Steve Stevens, I got to go there because Steve Stevens is one of my favorite guitar players, and Billy's one of my favorite frontmen. And his voice,
I love it.
Brilliant. And they put out a song a few years ago that was awesome. Amazing. Yeah.
Still got it. Even in all these years, the fact that he still has hair after bleaching for that many, that kind of harsh chemicals, that's amazing. It's unbelievable.
I totally agree.
New England clam chowder or a creamy tomato bisque?
Well, I'm gonna have to admit something to you and everybody out there. I can do neither because I'm very lactose intolerant. So anything with cream is a no-go.
Okay, a nice lentil soup. How about that?
I don't do well with beans. So some celery.
Soup is off the table. I'm so sad.
Right.
A nice vegetable platter. That's what we'll do.
There we go. I like it.
I love it.
Perfect.
Also, I'll have to make a note not to invite you to my upcoming soup party. I will leave you off the invite on that one.
Thank you.
Now, we had a long conversation. I ask most people Bigfoot or the Loch Ness, but we've done that. And I know you being a Washington guy, resident for many years, you have your own Bigfoot answer, and we've been through that. So let's do this. Would you rather see a little gray alien or a centaur?
Oh, I would love to see a little gray alien.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't want to be probed. But I don't know. Yeah. I used to really be into UFOs, and when I read the abduction stories and how they were apparently probing people, I was like, I don't, because when I was a kid, I wanted to be abducted, and then I heard that they were probing, and I'm like, no, I'm not having any of that.
Right. When you're a kid, you're like, cool, I get to play with aliens, and then you're like, wait a minute. I just feel like with their advanced technology, that's the only way they can get and figure us out. Like I'll say I'll do that. It's fine.
I agree. You think they have some sort of, they could just run their hand across your body and they're not sticking things in your,
they're just doing it for fun. Those sick bastards, All right. Last one. Would you rather get a Chuck Norris roundhouse at 100% power or a Mike Tyson punch at 50% power?
Oh, I'd take the Mike Tyson.
You would?
Just to say that I've been hit by Mike Tyson because he's just because it's Mike Tyson.
It's true. That's true. Even now, what did you see him for that fight? Even though that was a stage fight, my God, animal. The guy's an animal.
He's an animal. I mean, I just remember when he first came on the scene. I used to love boxing when I was a kid, and wow. What a beast. Amazing.
In his prime. All right. Well, it's the last thing you do because, we'd be at your funeral afterwards, but that's all right.
I would.
Good. Thank you for humoring me. More importantly, Myles, thank you once again for taking time to talk new music. Again, The Art of Letting Go is out now. Go get it. And I can't wait to see what's next. Jazz fusion or whatever it may be, buddy.
Right on. Well, this was a lot of fun. Always a pleasure.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right. You take care.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Brock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.